行くぞはっGenocide Kata!
What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Sporgo. And there's a couple things that I did miss from that Korean sneak peek that we got yesterday. So I thought we'd chat a little bit about that. And the first thing is Goenitz here. Now, if you notice, Goenitz actually has a shield. Now, this thing quickly showed up in that last video. I didn't even see it. So shout out to all you eagle-eyed viewers in the comments that actually saw this. This is pretty cool because I kept mentioning, man, I really hope they have a shield. I really hope they have a shield. But whenever they tag in Goenitz after using Leona, you can see there is a shield around him. So this actually leads you to think, well, how's he get the shield? Because we did see a little bit of gameplay, although they didn't show any active skills in the preview of him, using a skill where he had like a little whirlwind around him, but he didn't have a shield. So it's not going to be like the shields that we already have in the game. It's going to be a little bit different because, well, I mean, maybe not, because the protective field that he had around him, that was actually preventing him from taking damage. At least that's what it looked like. So if that's the case, then I don't know exactly how it's going to work, because right now you have characters like Kay and Kula and the new Goenitz, the Phantom Goenitz, that actually can bring up their shields by using their skills. I believe it's in their core passive, right? Let's scroll down here. Yeah, it creates a shield that absorbs the damage by using an active skill, right? And there's 3 characters that actually have this kind of effect, which is pretty awesome. The only caveat to it is if you don't land the skill immediately, you're not gonna, if you don't use the skill immediately, which really isn't a big problem, honestly. I mean, using a skill is pretty easy to bring up your shield. Whereas you have a character like Neo Tengo here, where she actually gets the shield at the very beginning, right? As soon as she's attacked with 100% HP all the way down to 50%, as soon as she's attacked, she gets a shield. I mean, there's going to be cooldowns throughout it. She got a 25-second cooldown. But this is one of the things that makes her so strong as far as her survivability, and really the decreased damage received also from the DOA 6 collaboration core effect. Now that's just massive. And then you have other shields like Zero here, who actually gets a shield whenever he's down to 50% HP, right? And so far, in my opinion, this is the worst form of the shield. I mean, the ones where you use the active skills, those are really awesome, right? Because you just use the skill. You don't have to land it. You just use the skill and you get the shield, right? And these things actually prevent taking damage for that entire 7 seconds, preventing damage from dot, whatever it may be, unless they do an immediate 20 hits. And, doing 20 hits to an opponent isn't the easiest thing. I mean, you obviously can, but it's just massive, especially like in the Immortal Dungeons. The shields we've proven it over and over again, right? With Neo Tengo, I did a 1-star Neo Tengo clear against Immortal Vulcan, and she survived easily, no problem, because of the shield. But I think Zero's is really kind of the worst because of the fact that, he has to get down to 50% HP, and he's an attack type fighter, right? Goenitz is an attack type fighter also, but as you notice in that preview that we just saw, he got it when we just tagged in. So I don't know if they're going to have an option card. That would be something new and different, right? Having an option card that offers a shield. Do you know how insane that would be? How good it could make other characters if they offered something like that? I mean, don't get me wrong. I want Goenitz to have a shield in his kit. But if they had a new option card, because they always give new option cards in these banners, and if that thing offered a shield, that would be awesome, my friends. That would be so kick butt, especially like in league match. Oh my God, that would be, because you'd tag in and you'd have the shield. You wouldn't take any damage during that 7 seconds if it was a 7-second duration, right? That would be so cool. And, after I saw that and after everybody put that in the comments, I got to thinking, man, I wonder how that works, because they're tagging him in, he's getting that shield. So is that going to be an option card? But we really don't know, right? We really have no clue how this is going to work. I'm just purely speculating. I have no idea. But I just think that would be freaking awesome if they had an option card that offered a shield, because any character that has weak survivability, like say for example, you're using Orochi Iori against Spider Robot. Orochi Iori is freaking awesome against the Spider Robot. He's so good. But the thing about the character is he's very fragile. Just imagine If you had a shield when you're tagging in, how good that would be, right? How awesome would that be? Because you wouldn't take any damage during the duration of the shield. That would be so cool. It could make so many characters so much better in game modes, even RHD, right? That would be so awesome. Oh my God. But I mean, I'm kind of getting my hopes up for that one. I think that would be awesome, but I have no idea if they're actually going to do it. The next thing that I want to bring up is if we go to around 43 seconds here, let's kind of click on 43 here. You can see that Leona has fear. Now, this is something that I did put in text in the last video, but I didn't talk about it in the last video. So I thought we'd kind of jump on this a little bit. Now, Leona is going to be, I think, one of, let me see, Goenitz has fear, Goenitzs has fear, and Zero has fear. All of these characters have fear. And the crazy thing about fear, now this is really more of a PvP thing, but it can help you in the epic quest, right? If you're applying fear to your opponents, it can help you. Now, Goenitzs here, he has a 40% chance to apply the fear. And those of you that have dealt with fear in PvP, it's a nightmare because there's no counter to it. There's no counter to fear. There's no card set, nothing that can actually oppose it, which makes it a real nightmare. I believe Goenitzs has a 40% chance also. Yeah, he has a 40% chance to apply fear. Now, this is what's funny. I think Zero's got the weakest shield effect, but he has the strongest fear effect because he actually can, I believe it's in his core effect? No, it's in his skills. Yeah, he can apply fear to the target upon landing a skill. Now, the thing about this is, you know, the characters that you're facing, if they're guarding against it, it won't apply fear. That's the bad thing about this skill. Whereas with Goenitz and Goenitzs, I believe, theirs actually does because it actually includes a guard. Let me look at Goenitzs to make sure. I know Goenitzs does. Whoops, didn't mean to click on him. Pretty sure Goenitzs does too. No, Goenitzs is not. So Goenitzs and Zero got the same thing where they can apply fear, but they got to land the skill. It doesn't include the guard, whereas with Goenitzs, it does include the guard. So Goenitzs really has the most powerful form of fear because it actually includes that guard. But, you know, Leona, who knows if she's going to include the guard? I'm willing to bet that it will. I'm willing to bet that maybe it'll be different. I mean, who knows? They could do something like whenever you use your skills, it could just apply fear. That would be freaking over the top. I don't think they're going to do that. It'll probably be something like landing a skill, maybe with guard included, something like that. But fear is a very powerful tool. I mean, really the only caveat to fear is the fact that whenever you do apply fear to opponents, it's kind of like freeze and petrify. The characters are just stationary. You can't juggle them and knock them up in the air like you can with a stun. That's kind of the thing about stuns. They're very powerful because you can actually juggle opponents in the air. Whereas with the other CC effects like fear and petrify and freeze, you can't. They're just locked in a motion. So once that freeze ends or petrify, they can immediately hit their interrupt skills if they have them available. But if not, I mean, it's still really good because even though they're just stationary, if you're applying a lot of skills, you're going to be able to build up your PG and then do your super, right? Which is awesome. That means you're going to do a lot of damage. You're not going to take any damage because you're going to be in an iframe. It's just going to be nutso. But I'm really hoping that Leona is, you know, probably going to include a guard. I mean, for PvP, that would be awesome. I mean, when you have that fear effect that would apply even when they're guarding, that's pretty damn powerful. I mean, even if it isn't guarding, it's still very powerful because all you got to do is just catch your opponents when they're off guard, right? Whenever they're getting ready to attack you, just apply your fear to them and you can still lock them down in place, still build up your PG, still do a lot of damage, and go ahead and do your super, right? So I got really high hopes for Leona and Goenitz. I mean, I'm thinking that they're going to have some really good survivability tools because it looks like, you know, the balls that's around Leona and the whirlwind that's around Goenitz is really going to protect them from taking any damage. But the fact that we saw that shield, and I really wanted to make this video about that because the shield really is insanely strong. And because, you know, they're tagging in Goenitz and getting that shield, it really does make me wonder how the shield's actually being applied. Where is it actually coming from? Is it coming from Goenitz's core effects? Or is it actually coming from just tagging in? Because, you know, in the preview that we saw here, Let me kind of back this up a little bit to 39 here. In this preview here, I believe they just tag him in. Let me kind of go over here. I believe they just tag him in. Yeah, they just tag him in, and it doesn't look like he does any damage at all, right? They just tag him in and he gets the shield automatically. So that's what leads me to believe that it might be an option card. Now, again, this is just purely speculation. I have no idea if that's what they're going to do, but how sick would that be? Because that's something that could help all of your characters. Any character that has weak survivability, that would be amazing. So let me know what y'all think about the option card idea as far as getting a shield from an option card. And let me know how y'all doing in the game. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link will be in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.